Siege. Choose your champion.
Kinessa.
Edie! Mid.
Baby, looking strong.
Mid. Don't get left behind.
Why? Why must dito eh? Fuck man. I'm so busy like now.
This'll be a walk in the park compared to what I'm used to.
Ahoy! Send it! Couple. No. No, brother. Kill me! Kill me, bro! Shit! No! He was one shot! How to add like what? Okay, I'll try it. How to add it? I don't know. I just know how to play this game. Come here, bro!
On my way.
Oh shit. Can you help me with the bot? Transit, do you know how to add it? Or it must be me to add the bot? Oh shit.
Lady whilst my friend.
Right. Hey. Shit, I missed.
Alright, they're getting hot, Enemy's up, look out!
He's hitting every shot. It's hard. Oh shit.
Sorry.
You stupid. Come here, boy! Shit, that's cool. Heal me. Heal me, please. Okay, let's kill the bot after this match.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds.
Sorry.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa! Fight him! Makoa! Yes. Fight him. What the? Shit! This Victor is wrecking everyone. Kill me. Oh, I'm gonna save them, bro.
That's a little better.
Okay. Oh shit! Since when he lives is a Why are you sniping at me? Because she is built for that. She is really hot. Okay, let's okay, wait. Transfer C, top play. Yeah, this one is it. Maeve playstyle is not you go and die. She must poke first, hot poke, and then you can just go in and kill them. Okay, let's deal with the bot. Teach me how to deal with it. This is Beta Knight bot. Sign up. YouTube. Yeah. What is this? And then is this? How? Is it create? No. I think. Oh no, where's my dashboard? How? Transit, help me. Live stream. I forgot. Head to community setting. Oh wait. Wait. Where? Oh, here. I have done it. So, what now? Oh. Okay.
Line up. Move keluar masuk je.
How do I use the bot? Can we play some song? Can you help me?
Siege. Pick a champion and remember, there's no I in team.
Oh shit, future talk. Let's be Ying. Ying!
Baby, looking strong.
How do I look?
Shit, there's so many streaks nowadays. I hate it. Go away.
Peace.
Kami is not serious to rank right now. Yeah, I don't know why.
Dua kali. Semakin di hadapan.
What is that?
Boleh pakai ni dah.
Tonight, I just want to dance. Forget everything else. Hi, friend.
Need healing. Final preparations are almost time.
Sorry. En route.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Because the rank system is kind of strange,
The
but
battle
some
has
other
begun.
things better than this.
Help! Enemies behind us.
Terminus! Cannot see you, bro. Oh
They got
shit.
the first frag.
Everybody get down! No touching!
No. Oh no. Yeah, you get pulled, brother. No. Save it.
Sister!
Enemies on left flank.
You rock.
Shit. This is hard.
Ultimate is ready!
Oh, brothers.
Time to take charge!
Alright, they get caught.
Nay. Die.
Need healing.
No.
You rock.
Alright, they get caught.
So our terminus just rush and die. Is that the strategy? Don't move.
Thanks for the pick
Why I
me up.
cannot heal? Oh shit! Shit!
Target locked!
What is that? Oh my god! Okay.
Nice job.
Hey, Sahil! Oh shit! I'm no, brother! How many times I- Hey! Bro, how are you?
Hi, friend!
Ow! Ah!
Seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Take charge!
Help me! So we got this instant delete, bro.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There's no right flank anymore.
Down.
Sister!
As you wish.
Robert. Stop it. Stop moving. Shit, I'm so busy. Ah, I cannot see anything. Get in the middle. Punch it, bro. Save it, bro. Shit, that one is me. Oh,
Target locked.
no. Give me a moment. Get up. No, Drogos.
Hit the deck, sniper.
Oh shit, this guy. Oh bro, I cannot see you. I'm trying to heal you guys. Ah, I'm big, go heal. I have to play on low graphics. I don't use to play on high graphics. Whoa, shit. Oh no.
Retreat. Be careful, middle.
This terminus is crazy, dude. I cannot push. Why is it there? Bro, are you crazy, bro?
Target locked.
Alright, they getting hot. They're
Newsy.
getting hot.
You want
30 seconds left.
Oh, guess it. Go! Cannot see, go. Oh, I have to set it up.
They got me.
Well, someone just subscribed to me.
Capture point spawns
Thank
in
you,
15
I am
seconds.
Batman, for subscribing. Yay!
Tunggu kejap. Takkan nak berhenti. Tak nak menyawa.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No.
Weh, alamak.
Yo, what the fuck?
Jangan halang pemandangan.
Things got a beat on me.
I cannot really go.
They're behind us.
You rock.
Thanks for the pick-me-up.
I am Batman. Yep, I know it. Shit. Hello.
Okay.
I don't know what I could do. Where's
Target locked.
no? Okay. Thank you. Oh no, Terminus.
Time to take charge!
Oh my god. I hunt so far. Let me die. No. Yeah!
Retreat.
Target locked.
I cannot heal you if you are too far, my friend. I cannot fight. Okay. Oh shit. I will enable it after
As you
this.
wish.
Still in the middle of the match. What the how in the hell? No.
I'm out of here.
What the fuck? Hey, Pikumi! Gaying. What the fuck? No, it's dope.
Oh, so cute.
Yes. I'm the real. What?
Aku nak beli hijau ada. Ada beli hijau. Mana? Bukan kau. Japai.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds.
I'm the queen of the dance.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay.
Ow! Ow! Sorry. Oh, my head's dragging. Please let me die. What the? Why you don't? Oh.
They're capturing the thing. Thanks a bunch.
On my way.
Shit! Oh my god. This guy is a legend. Oh no!
Be careful.
I don't know. Sometimes people are just too good. Like me. You know I'm kidding, bro.
Enemies on left flank.
Bro, stay at the mid. No! Why you bro?
I'm not mad. Just
Good
sorry.
game.
He just fucking ate. Gonna be lost.
Secrets of magic.
As you
Reveal
wish.
yourselves to
Nice
me.
job.
30 seconds left.
Nice job.
Target
Oh
or lock.
no. Oh my god. Look at our healing. Bro. He's just evil. Okay. What is this? An arrow. I enabled it already. Is there anything else? It's just locked. I just healed the terminus. I think he got the card. If he low. No? Or he just buy the rejuve. Shit. I got the most credits in the team. I did great job for 38k damage, but my heal is the most heal. Nah, thing is freaking OP. So can try as use the bot.
Siege. Choose your champion.
Drogos. No runs. You're not playing Drogos. What is that? Conscience. Oh my god. Every single time I want to play Drogos, there will be no healer and tank. Why, bro?
Oh, baby, looking strong.
Hey, what? It disappeared. But I really beat it up. What kind of song are you requesting? Bruh.
Siege. Pick a champion and remember, there's no I in team.
Kinessa.
Oh, baby, looking strong.
Got my target. Heading to coordinates now. Time to get paid or die trying. Nice job.
Make your final preps. It's about to be that time. Five, four, three, two, away! Game time, baby. Let's go.
Hello.
Thanks for the pick-me-up.
Enemies on the left flank without word.
That's one way to break the ice. Help that tank.
Anything. Thanks. Silence!
I'm ready to fight again. Thanks for the pick-me-up. I'm ready to fight
Alright, they get hot,
This here's my gun. That's some good. Behind us. Examine this here.
Not yet.
Building a sentry.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds.
Let us sail the skies.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
I'm out of here. Why? Thanks for the pick-me-up.
Okay, real talk, time to stop that guy. That enemy is unstoppable.
Keep going.
Somebody do something.
Ay, what?
They get hot, they get hot.
Try and run. Show them no mercy. Stealer.
But I don't know how to.
Under fire! Can't do that. I'm ready to fight again. Watch the spot.
Good to me dead.
30 seconds left. Seconds. 10, 9, 8,
No, it's not.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Try and run. Thanks for the cooking.
I'm not mad.
Good game.
Just listen.
Silence! The power of the cosmos in the palm of my hand. Silence!
Show them no mercy.
Step into the light. Perish! Silence!
Then so my Paladins just crashed. Oh no! It's happening again. Yep. Oh my god. Shut up. Oh my god. Wait, wait, what? Bro, we just got a spoiler for the next champion. My favorite chess? I think the one that gives the Endro weapon, like the green, yellow. What is this? So is it Khan? So who is this guy? Bro. Dredge? I don't know what DPI am I. Just using the basic mouse. Who is Dredge? This need to go to somewhere else. Spread it, brother. Who is Dredge? Your server? Sure, I will get the link from the Discord. I'm using a really slow mouse right now. And as you can see, this mouse is moving like this, and it's faster, it's super fast. I'm using the super slow move. Hello, Frost Valentine. Ta-da! It's probably the next champion in this game. I have screenshot it.
Siege. Choose your champion.
Weird as fuck.
Drogos.
So in here it doesn't have. Oh. Maybe I got some spoiler. Not correct.
Oh, baby, looking strong.
Let the siege begin.
What the fuck, Stretch? Yeah, what the fuck is Stretch? Can't find it. Okay, okay. So who is Dredge? Fernando's brother? Who is this? Look at this. I just saw it. bottom right side. I just entered the zone of the future. Oh.
Where is the gold?
Alright, shut up. This is too loud. Barely, you guys cannot hear me. Sorry.
Make your final preparations, it's almost time. Five, four, three,
Enemies will fall.
one. The battle has begun.
Where do you wanna go, brother? Ah,
Bastion hit a wall.
no, that's
Of death.
Enemy dub, look out!
my bad.
Enemies on the left flank.
A dub.
Hey, Cassie.
Sign up for this.
Capture the objective.
Line in and get on their neck.
Release them, okay.
I feel really sad. Your head. Nice.
Strike now.
There's in YouTube.
Good game indeed.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds. 3, 2,
Oh, ada buka voice
1.
pack.
Be careful.
We don't have all bros.
Behold the dragon's doing.
Release that from that. Incinerate them.
Nara, you fucking get back.
Your aid is appreciated.
No one catching the point. Why am I shooting at the wall? Why am I shooting at the wall?
Strike now, friends.
El Furia.
Distance is appreciated. Incinerate them.
Mine! That's the best you can do.
This land is under my protection.
Shit, that was
Tread
weird.
carefully.
This is blue rock.
You are not welcome here.
I got you, bro. I got you. No. Let's go again. Toxic coming. Still a question mark. Who is Drudge? Oh, I am Batman. I see you right now.
Lari yang base ini base. Oh, sana ada orang atas ni.
So oh, I got another links. Is my new subscriber. I didn't saw that. Sorry. Right, share the PC specs. The PC spec. I don't even know, bro. My PC spec. I just use this PC because I pay for it. I don't have any PC actually. I just play it in the cafe, net cafe. Gold Pokai. Yeah. I don't have any gold. Look at this. Shit. We got new champion. Maybe 1 or 2 patches. Princess Lyliyen.
Siege. Pick a champion and remember, there's no I in team.
That was fast. Maybe I play some Barrack.
Barrack!
Barrack Architectonic. Look at this. Can I pick him? No. What?
Oh, baby, looking strong.
Time to rock!
Mass Effect Andromeda. What game is that? Never heard. Just play Paladins for like this 1 year. Wanda and Keizo, Keiji, Keizo, Basil, Wanda, and the Japanese name Khan.
Oh, Barrack's got a gun! He's gonna shoot you down!
Confess your sins unto me, child, and I will absolve you. Slayer's
What are you
hit.
talking about?
Sorry, you're beyond saving.
Curses!
Make your final preps. It's about to be that
Unruly
time.
mortals get the rod. Or in this case, a heavy shaft of limestone.
Okay.
I think I want to prep for that.
If you think to defy me, know that I give it,
3,
and I take it,
Boost me!
and
I can
never
get up on my
forget
own!
it.
y'all.
You
Game time.
devilish turbine
My
me thumb
feelings will be
basher!
very assertive. Yes.
Oh my god.
I'd get me a little
Retreat. Retreat.
Uh-oh, they got the first frag.
Enemies on the left flank. On my way.
on, turret. Deal damage to him.
On my way.
Thanks.
Chase the enemy. Agree.
Oh shit. He saw me. He saw me. That's bad. Oh,
Retreat.
protect Princess Lyliyen. No.
Heathens.
She's angry. Oh no.
Eternal paradise for you.
On my way.
Reach for the sky!
Heal.
30 seconds.
That feels great.
Oh my god. Hurts so bad.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Oh my
3.
god. Fire.
Enemy
Two.
dub. Look out. 1.
Okay.
The world works
Turret
in
deployed.
mysterious ways.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds.
From the shadows.
Never cross a god. We come up with the most
Can't
creative
hold your
punishments
drinks,
in our
eh?
free time.
4, 3.
There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Now go toward it.
Be careful. They're taking the point, buddy. I'm your healer. I'll have it. I can tell you needed the help.
Incinerate them!
Enemies on the left flank.
Capture the objective!
Don't speak to me.
Turret deployed.
You've got it!
That feels great.
The dragon's stirring.
Why? Coming. Fight me on point.
Okay. Okay.
Retreat! Group up!
No problem. Farewell.
Being reborn never gets old. Incinerate them! Miraculous! I'm fading. Never!
Okay.
Never!
Yes. It's finally over. No, forgive me. Curses.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds.
I'm always with you. Just not now.
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
A blessed match.
Behind us.
Now or never, boys.
The heat soothes.
Be careful.
Group up!
Retreat.
Can I get some help here? Like you, healer. I'll have enough.
The curse grows.
Miraculous.
No, don't speak to me.
Never. Miraculous.
Yes.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds.
Be cleansed. Miraculous.
Cards up!
Ultimate is ready.
5, 4,
A blessed match.
That's too bad. Be careful.
I don't even know what happened actually. How did we play with this song?
Wicked.
Enemies behind us. Robust.
Retreat.
What the?
On my way.
My keyboard just broken.
Incinerate them.
Here it comes!
A blessed match.
Enemies on the right flank.
The world works in mysterious ways.
No.
Enemies on the left flank.
Retreat.
A blessed match.
My keyboard is broken. Oh no. Oh, now I can move. Fucking keyboard.
Enemies on the left flank. Enemies on the left flank.
No.
No. Curses.
Retreat.
A blessed match. Capture the objective.
I.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds. Five, four.
I never know Blade
three,
Bandit can get this much.
2, 1.
Please.
Okay, forgive me.
Thanks.
Group up.
No.
On my way!
Capture the objective.
Turret deployed!
Enemies on the right flank. Miraculous. Resplendent.
Top of the food chain.
The sun shines on you.
Don't speak to me. Okay, don't speak to me.
GG. So did my Paladin just crash again? This is really bad. Oh my god. What is this? 6, 12, 28. I'm so bad. I should have played a Tinkering Legendary. Bad talent. Prince Blackie. What? What you guys want me to play? I can play for the casual match. Maybe Lex for Tanzit. Yesterday, Tanzit wanted me to play Lex. Chicken biscuit. He had a party. Back R. What do you want me to teach you, bro? I can teach you if I know it. I can teach you anything. Tell me, did you want me to teach you anything for the basic? Let's go for short. Why he left the party? Oh. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. You can join me after this.
Siege.
Why did I go
Choose your
D&D
champion.
after I getting into party? Because we don't want to like how do I explain it to you guys? Okay, I just type it for you guys.
Oh, baby, looking strong.
Hey, how you doing?
We can play after this back. Don't be sad. I can invite you after this. What's your your IGN is Jable Terminal. What server do you play? If you're playing others from SEA, it will be really hard because I'm a little lag.
You ready for this, Ziggs? Are you kidding? I was born ready. Hit.
Oi. Ini ada.
Make your final preparations. It's almost time.
In game aja.
Kagak gigi lu doang yang kagak masuk. Kagak lu doang yang kagak masuk.
Hei, main game tutup.
Sabar.
Tolol nolep.
Le.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The battle has begun.
Belakang Mako.
Andrew top.
Low Casey. Andro.
Gotta come out fast. Gotta hit him hard.
Woi, kanan woi.
Kanan dong Casey.
Belakang aja.
Y'all really just let them triple kill you?
Gua orang habis ngeblas kok udah bisa ngeblas lagi ya.
Sorry. Retreat.
Bisa terjago di game ini sudah sampai.
Did you see that?
Belakang kau Lyliyen.
Gua mati.
On my way.
Kena tembak ini.
Tuh barok.
Giginya gak jelas.
Alright, overtime. Now or never, boys.
Elah.
Ayo, hoi. Totop dulu gigi.
Nggak bisa ini loh. Oke.
Apa ini?
Sakit banget. Bantu kayak.
Grow dark.
RTO-an klasik.
Mundur.
bunch.
Karena masih ada orang.
Sabar ya.
Isinya sabaran.
Mati lo.
Lah, telat dia.
Ngantuk lagi.
Mana Enro-nya?
Kanan.
Tolong nyangkut deh.
Nyangkut tiap hari kamu.
Gerok tiap hari kau.
Lah baru sekali.
You're a lifesaver.
Masih sih, ada. Suruh striknya.
Gila instant death.
Bangau. Ya.
Suruh saya.
Nih stack 4 juga kalah nih ya.
Santai.
Makan dulu, Cok.
Cek mati.
Waduh.
HTO tiap hari ya.
Tenang, heal gua.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Thanks a bunch.
Kanan nih, kanan. Lazar.
Salam Bing.
Mundur. Barang Andro.
Enemy dub. Look out.
Sakit banget. Aduh.
Susahnya main ini. Salam Bing.
Orang gua kena peluru nyelip aja langsung mati aing.
Tetik lah kau acak lagi.
Langsung cabut dia.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds.
Ini dipit berjuta-juta kali ya, tidak mau.
Tidak mau itu sama tahu mah.
5,
Lagi sama Dezel.
3,
Terus sama Dazzle. Asal infit nggak nanya dulu ini.
Ya tetek yang nyuruh goblok.
Ah goblok.
Sampai masuk PC dia.
Mampu ya.
Woi, mana tuh?
Mana ini?
Kena.
Gitu kak. Kanan dong. RTO enggak? RTO tiap hari ya. Ya ampun, ya ampun. Mampu ya, kena semua itu. Sebut.
Kanan. Barang lu black.
Mundur lang. Ada kena.
Sana.
Mundur, jangan kanan, jangan kanan.
Mau itu siksa lo berkorban.
Gak ada yang bisa ngejar.
Ulti tidaknya.
Belakangan drop.
Belakang dong, Casey dong, kanan dong.
Urus sendiri.
Sudur sendiri ya.
Tidak mati-mati. 2 jam anjing.
Supportnya turun tangan.
Kanan.
Lifesaver.
Push dong.
15 seconds.
Itu healer ya.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Kanan, Andrew kanan.
Awas trik kiri.
Kiri atas.
Mampus lo.
Tar. Kelar semua.
I should try something with these credits.
Resiko iya. Santai ya. Menang lah.
Enggak, yang penting Mako itu juga udah ulti. Itu yang bikin capture soalnya.
Nah itu dia ya.
Sana pakai itu.
Capture point spawns in 15
Takut
seconds.
sama saya lah ya. Gak paham aku. Heaven sudah.
Series saya hati-hati, series saya belum ulti.
4,
Ya.
3, 2, 1.
Tanzi. Spend all everywhere to win the point.
Biasa gua capture dulu baru.
Awas kanan.
Kanan.
Asih.
Awas ramai banget.
That's 5 in a row. Okay,
Dari saya gigi, woi.
Cooldown. Gue pakai yang lagi di depan dulu kan lagi santai soalnya.
Marco kanan. Nice.
Awas. Trik.
Saya kanan ya.
Ya sudah.
Ya. Terus.
Yay, David. Very nice inside.
Comeback istaka.
Dapat triple kill, dapat top play. Alhamdulillah. Mati aja.
Bisa jemput deh.
Lihat ngomongin semua.
Tuh, kalau di damage buff kan enak tuh ke situ anjing. Sakit banget.
Iya. Bentar. Ini lagi ada viewers mau join. Jabret terminal.
Udahan kau.
Belum. Awal lagi, Cuk. Ini mau tas handphone. Jable terminal. habisin di dalam match. Main aja lah.
Mana ya? Cak penting ya.
Penting woi.
Iya.
Mau jaga viewers nih.
Lah. Berapa viewer?
Ada 1 2 3 nih.
Twitch aja lah. Kalau YouTube sepi.
Ya, YouTube
lumayan
sepi.
lagi.
Kayak Raldep tuh. Raldep di mana? Nimo. 50 ya viewernya.
Oh, hai Ninja Sonic.
Master kan sudah ada modal ini.
Gua ada satu champion nih namanya Dredge, tapi nggak tahu kenapa nih.
Mau ngikut dia.
Champion baru. The spoilers. Dredge. Woi, dengar lagu apa tuh woi? Jangan bising sangat woi. And you can put the blame on me. You can put the blame on me.
Bringing out the big guns.
Ravioli. Jeng.
Wah, ini on mic ke kak? Oh, on. Tanzit, how's the bot? Is it working?
Sedetik mana?
Lah mana iki?
Mampu dia jual PUBG, Tetek tidak main apa-apa.
Lama matchnya. Anjing.
Toxic ya.
Ya, gua toxic. Report gua. Siapa mau ban gua? Disayangi high res ini. Itu. Ayo.
Dapat.
Ayo, bully anak-anak semua.
Siege.
Pick
a
dulu.
champion and remember, there's no I in team.
Saya Koga lah.
Sempet Koga.
Victor deh.
Apa gua mau bet deh? Aku lah.
Makoa.
And never getting older.
Bisa build the grand closer. Aduh.
Oh, baby, looking strong.
I will protect my domain.
Kompe.
Ya kan ada kau black. Apa-apa. You wake the dragon. Keren banget namanya. Maafkan me, God to heaven.
What the fuck? Apa itu?
Orang gabut kebiasaan.
I will put an end to the wars of the land dwellers.
Pakaian aja sel, firefighter.
Firefight.
Yoi.
Buat apa?
Fire factor, pemadam aja.
Pakai yang
pemadam
tuh.
gitu.
Pakai shrapnel tuh.
Tuh. Pakai shrapnel paling bagus.
Iya.
Biar takut aja.
Make your final
Langsung
prep.
setengah
It's about
darah.
to be that time.
Nah, main yang lari dapat nyawa itu.
Kardio anjing.
Kardio plus nimble.
Kardio plus nimble plus ini. Damage reduksi tingginya udah. Gak mati-mati gua anjing sendirian juga.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Game time, baby. Let's go.
Lari. Mana laut tuh?
Come on, we gotta come out fast. We gotta hit them all.
Low.
Tenang. Sampai satu tank nih mati. Oke.
Aja.
Oh, belakang gua. Aduh.
Nice.
Ini tiranya menyerang.
Buga.
Mampu bahasa suku luar.
Boleh.
Anjing dari tadi gua elimination.
Bagi-bagi dong shieldnya.
Boy. Belakang lu goblok Blacky.
Hah? Apaan?
Blacky. Lyliyen. Oh, gua kira lu ini.
Mabok sel.
Enggak, itu tadi di belakang ada Indara, terus sekarang dia kagak mikir. Kocak kan.
Kena.
Udah kejar.
I'm in your debt, friend.
Sabit Gerard masuk lagi anjing.
You carry the light.
Thanks.
Bahasa suku Niga anjing.
Mau ninja. Kalau Dekwan itu lebih kelihatan.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So tau Andro ya. Kagak lihat musuhnya apa.
Ini musuh yang diem punya anjing.
Tahu. Buka. Ayo lu, mau mati lu.
Ayo mau kemana?
Kabur dong.
Lah kau lah.
Lah.
Mau mes 10 jam ini. Goblok. Kena sih. Ayo lo Andro, ngapain?
Tangkep. Mampu ya.
Bye.
I'm in your debt.
Sempet ngeluarin pistol terakhir ya.
Well done. What is the teller?
You are not welcome here.
Buset.
For the magistrate.
Buga.
What?
I feel none. Your weapons do nothing. Get over here.
There you go. It's not over.
Aduh, ay.
You carry the light.
Kawan nomor 1 di sini.
Incinerate them.
Sus.
Them. No.
Ini udah mau 11.
Nama saudara lo apa, Black?
Apaan lagi sih?
Unyetnya Mosas.
Mampu ya tidak hafal. Mau saya pronounce kan?
Apa?
Are, gua nge-lag nih. Hitam screen-nya. Janganlah. Game. Udah berapa kali mau diisi?
Dulu.
Masih dua bit.
Berapa kali gini? Tolong gamenya. Dalam party ya?
Beres. Kocak kali ya tadi pas gue teriak. Belakang si Blacking ngeliat ke belakang gak ada apa-apaan, bingung.
Toh.
Iya, gue kirain tadi lu mako anjing.
Lu ngomong gitu gue langsung back lagi aja. Udah gue maju.
Gue mundur terus tadi. Cari mana?
Enggak,
Mana yang ada di belakang? Coba. Invite gue.
Jap.
Tadi Makoya lagi lewat gitu ya, di belakangnya ada Inara, terus karat dia kayak
yang gue kerja yang lain itu, gue nembak lu bilang di belakang gue pusing belakang cari mana deh. Di tepi.
Iya,
lu pusing apalagi gue anjing, gue yang dipanggil.
Gue suka musik.
Lyliyen data mining. Anjing, viewer gua. Aduh. Jasnita kali pertama. Ada lagi. United of Smash. Does it work in the bot?
Una karma lebihnya alamat mana benar bagi.
Ampuy bad karma.
Aku puncak sampai botak.
Fury sampai botak.
Itu dia. Sampai saya putih.
Lah, kau tidak bakal bisa putih Black selama ada JP room. GBK saya.
Gue pengen Android di pick duluan mulu.
Ya kau kalah cepat.
Duty, loyalty, honor, respect. Those words are all I have, all that I need.
Make your final preparations, it's almost time.
Keep it down.
Gak usah
dulu, Rektor.
Kan bisa di ini soalnya.
3, 2, 1. The battle has
bisa
begun.
Dipagel shieldnya.
Low.
Come out fast, we gotta hit them hard.
Belakang dong.
Nice.
Mundur. Ampun.
Kanan ada Absalin.
Ngapain sih Black?
Wah, jangan main stick lagi anjing.
Alasan bisa alasan.
Ini lu biji double.
Belakang.
Won't hold back.
Kenceng banget anjing larinya.
Poga.
Thanks.
Diam. BK.
Your sight fails you.
Kalau
Protect you or anything. My wounds vanish.
Aduh, mantul lagi.
atas. Fuck.
Death awaits you all.
Iya lah. Androxusnya malah ninggalin gigi.
Santai. Baru dua.
Selalu bareng gua dulu Sal. Yo.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Salah IP sama Koga anjir. Mobilitasnya tai semua.
Belakang IP.
Let's fight.
Korsel di atas.
Sama gua maju. Udah ngeliat ada ini. Kali.
Lagi.
Life is but a butterfly's bill.
Andronya ngapain sih dari tadi?
Shalinnya free.
Tahu, free banget.
Incinerate them.
Your sight fails you.
Belakang dong.
Lama. Kiri.
Now let's ferry this payload.
Ini belakang.
Well here.
Kiri Oga. Mati lo. Bener. Kedan sih.
Belakang.
Retreat.
No bond greater than between warriors.
Gua ambil kiri. Aduh.
Belakang.
Belakangnya. Itu low IP-nya.
Gak bisa gua. Kalau gua ini malah mati juga.
15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pakai damage reduction ini si Groper. Oh iya, pantas aja.
Siapa?
Vampire, be cleansed.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds.
PPL. Langsung dikatain.
5, 4, 3.
Ya ditanyain dikatain di room.
Nanya baik-baik loh.
Dia kirim pagi-pagi.
Jangan tetik ya.
Iya.
Kok gua?
Belakang dorong. Tatap lagi.
Apa sih gua mau mati nih Gigi?
Pakai sana.
Okay, real talk. I'm gonna stop that guy.
Emang gua pakai speaker tolol.
Emang kan.
Harus kabur di solusi aja ya.
Bilang.
Nih. Makan. Ayo.
Di belakang lo, Jack.
Tar.
Lo banget itu. Belakang.
Saling dong bang.
Kayaknya dia langsung kesetun.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Lesson 3. Never fight someone you know you can't beat.
Anjing headshot.
You're already dead.
Itu gua di atas masih kena anjing.
Emang ya. Oh, udah nih.
Need for Wrecker for the side of our team in blue of Ryder. So a lot of, again, look at the utility coming out. Haven's right off the bat, a couple of yellows to mix in with some Master Riding and Chronos. This is a nice start.
I love it just because they're looking at what's going to kill us, what's going to be the biggest issue. We already have anti-heal. We don't have to worry about anything outside of that, so let's just go ahead and keep ourselves alive a little bit better.
Yeah.
And being able to look at a Haven this early on, normally I would say it was a little bit selfish, but as of right now, they're playing solid, maybe a little bit too much damage getting taken in the process.
Yeah, Fernando was really close to going down, but really good peel from both damage dealers coming up forward. Now Anar is the one in a little bit of trouble. The Warder's still taken down quickly, and ooh, the salvo queued up and just deleted completely as that Ian Gremory goes down quick. A nice pull, though. We'll keep things even for the moment. It's still a little bit of a 2-on-3 instance on the point. Fernando falling away will give the advantage to Five Gods, but it was 27% for Ryder, so even though Five Gods will go above 50%, not the worst start in the world for the team in blue.
A lot of what Five Gods did in that fight that really made it work for them is even though they were losing these fights, damage is being dealt to them, they don't really have a leg in it. They got rid of the healer first.
Right.
So any damage they had was going to stay there, and it's just supplanting that, putting that onto them, and making sure that you can kind of keep locks on this Cassie, this Drogoz, and try to shut them down.
And this is one of the dangerous reasons why you don't want Makoa on the table. Void Griff into Dredge Anchor, and a guillotine coming through, but despite not enough to take down the damage, Barricade goes up, Makoa comes around, the shell spin enough to help boop him right back up. And again, this is just the combination of Genos and Makoa. There's so much crowd control there. But again, you think that maybe with the potential of Ryder to go into those early investments into blue cards, you might see some of that resilience help out against some of this.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because it's one of those things that's very different than how we typically see a start to a game go, but it feels like they recognize, okay, we know what's in our loadouts, we know what we have. The problem is they aren't having that performance to, I think, follow up that kind of build. Haven 1 is not going to be as useful as it really could be. You're really looking at those later levels. So Ryder, I think off the bat, we're kind of like, we're looking at investing right now, trying to get this 300, then 600, then 900, so we can get this tier 3. So Androxus has no effect, so that we can eventually trade these boxing matches into us just getting kills.
Absolutely, but there is Rejuvenate coming out for Five Gods, and that's going to be nice, especially to help out with that Genos, thanks to that extra credit itemization after getting that first point. A little bit of a boost in the economy. Trexia is taking a lot of shots. One headshot does connect, but taking the fight is Frosted Soul, and he says, thanks for coming. Here's your parting gift.
And we have seen a myriad of Cassie talents being run. Yesterday, the one that's still flashing in my mind is seeing Exaction come through once again. I don't think that's what we're seeing here, but just being able to pick things up like that, and Cassie is always going to be a safer pick. Once you get in a boxing match like that, like spotted and you're going to take that damage. In this kind of case, you're looking at anyone else, Dam's essay up in the air, all of a sudden Frosted Soul just free fires.
Yeah, absolutely does. And again, that big blast shot can melt characters like Zin and Androxus very quickly. But in the meantime, it is going to get down to overtime. Long-range hook, not quite going to connect. Ooh, a nice Pyre Strike, though, actually stuns out too, allowing Fernando to come back forward, focus his attention on the end. Nara, Iceberg also dropping low, and it's going to force the shield back up. 5-on-5 action. Well, I say that, and then Nara immediately falls afterwards. Iceberg also about 1 HP will drop away. I Am Ray with the double kill is burning people away. They'll get the successful defense, and that's what you need, I think, if you're Ryder. If that goes 2-0, things start to look a little bit more desperate, but now with the damage charts looking pretty much like a pinstripe from top to bottom, and of course that sustained defense, the itemization will likely look a little bit more even as well.
Ooh, actually, no follow the scent. Instead,
strange.
Spitfire 5. This is something I literally have never seen in an Androxus or in a Drogoz build. but just being able to get that cooldown on salvo as long as you're hitting it. And so far, Dams has been hitting most of these shots. 6 shots in a row, you can shotgun it and get that, not necessarily full reset, but you're going to be able to pop it up a little bit more.
Why is
it
this
feels like something,
happening?
this looks like a loadout in my mind that goes very well with Reign of Terror, but I can't imagine people running Reign of Terror.
Me neither, and the Basque 4 as well to kind of synergize with Spitfire. It's just one of those things that, you know, as I look at it, my first reaction is, do you really need that healing? Like, are you really finding yourself getting poked out that far? And, well, if you keep hitting salvos like that, I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. Makoa falling very low, needs to find a way out, but he really has nowhere to go, and Frosted Soul punishes. And right as that happens, the Inflame comes out, and it's going to be Ryder holding W for a little bit. Inara likely to drop away. Will with the last shot from Frosted Soul. And again, look how far forward they're pushing. At a certain point, you have to be a little bit careful, and I think that moment came just then. And ooh, the spike does come right back out. I Am Ray does drop away. A little bit out of position. Again, you got to be careful when those situations come out, Gore. You get a little bit too over-aggressive, and all of a sudden that easy cap turns into a very easy recommit for 5 gods.
Especially when you're one of the front lines, and probably the primary front line when it comes down to it. You put a lot of pressure onto someone like Dam's Essay to start performing. You have to get those kills now without that extra shield. But it doesn't really matter. Your damage is getting spread all around. Your salvo is right back up. You weren't able to get it off a second time, but you just know that reset is actually applying itself a little bit more. And we were actually mentioning that SEA kind of always has its own meta, and it feels like this Drogo style is its own meta.
It's definitely effective, and you wouldn't really think that considering the flanks that are on the table. Makoa spinning in, just wants to touch, but he's just going to forfeit his life likely for that. Can he take the barrack with him? Sure will. A little bit of value there, but regardless, the effort was all for naught. And that will be the point for Ryder, coming back very good. 14 streak for Frosted Soul. Immortal coming out for I Am Ray. That's going to keep him alive, get the kill, and get him healed right back up. 1200 HP coming out of the Fury. The Pyre Strike right there, not even needed, as Dams is able to find Atrexia before he can get in that secret hideaway.
And just going forward with it, of course, you can see all these small moments that matter, but that 17 streak for Cassie right now burning is just showing Frosted Soul's impact. Dams is in the same area where he's getting a lot of damage, but right now Frosted Soul is the one being able to pick it up. Like you can see, 11,000 ahead is the Drogos, but he's just getting the poke down. He's helping make sure these front lines on the side of 5 gods really don't have a presence. That Inara is almost dead immediately.
Atrexia had a very awkward committal for that Accursed Arm in the back end of an Ancient Rage that came out from Icebreak, but he does end up finding Frosted Soul. And there'll be Ian Gregory also coming forward, kind of holding. Ooh, that spite from downtown. Able to take down Damsey, who, wow, I didn't know if that was going to have the legs to reach it, but it's going to be Ikju finding himself too. And he's been right up there with the damage charts right alongside the Drogos. That's what you want to see out of a Xin. And man, he's getting right up in there, wants to find more, but will billow away, thinking the better of that. And a little shield from the turtle friend will help him get out as well. And it'll just reset things kind of in the middle of the map. A minute and 3 seconds until we get to that overtime. And the payload again inching backwards just slightly.
Ryder so far this entire game have been very quick to pull the trigger on their ults, being able to pop them like it's nothing. But I feel like they keep running into these scenarios where it might be better to hold on to them for a little bit. There's a couple of ults that do charge up incredibly fast, but I'm kind of curious to see, I mean, Dome Shield, Immortal both having been thrown out pretty much every single time they just happen to come off cooldown. But this Inflame might make the biggest difference from the Furia. Once they decide to hit that, that's pretty much the gas pedal. You don't usually lose a fight with it, but it's been shown that it can happen.
Oh, now with a 5-on-4 situation unfolding in front of us, this spike comes out once again, just to reposition backwards by the sound of it. Again, the Pyre Strike able to take down Likju. That's going to be huge. As now look at this. Ryder's pushing forward. They're about to have all 5 ultimates up. I don't even know if they're going to need it. If they can find one more pick here, this would be huge. I think if you're Damsey, you want to get this to 100 and then just trigger it, and you can put this to 3-1 rather easily. But as I say that, it's not quite there, and it's going to be 5-on-5 action as we get to about the last 5 meters. Through Time and Space comes out, Dome Shield as well, and now finally the Dragon Punch looking for a target. He had Ian Gregory in his sights the entire time while he was channeling, and another big salvo connects about 60% of it right in the face of Don Quixote, who will be taken down. And look at that, they still save the scout for next round. It's 3-1, Ryder looking to put this one away.
And that's more of the performance I expected out of Ryder, right? That's what I kind of was wondering. And even with a more unorthodox build coming down from the Drogos, I think everything is really falling into life. Although there's also no kinetic, so a lot of the anti-heal that I was mentioning isn't actually being run by Ryder here. They have the Tumble, they have the Blast Shower, both going to be good, but you're looking at a lot of damage and survivability as opposed to that ability to shut down your opponent.
Do you really think the Tumble is getting high value here? I mean,
I don't know how often I actually see Frosted Soul get CC'd.
Oh my god.
That's what I was about to say. The only thing that really would, I mean, obviously the hook, but that's, you can't negate the hook. You're going to get pulled if you get hit by it. Very strange build.
And if you get Void Grip, you just
stay up.
Roll on out of there anyway. Or you shoot, you do something to get out of there. You already have that in your kit. And it's one of those things, we were actually talking about this yesterday as to whether or not that 70% is worth it, or if you can just run it at level 4, get that 56% and be comfortable.
This is an interesting moment. This is a teaching moment right there. Don Quixote was sitting in the middle of the point, essentially, and I Am Ray on the Fernando is pushed right into his face. There was no frontliners there to help him out, and that's going to be a really big stagger as they take down the support, and then a frontliner, and look at this, Atrexia gets taken down as well, so a little buffet line getting some damage, getting some support, and getting some front lines off, and my goodness, the poke is good from Frosted Soul. Dodge rolls back 63% though, Gore, and someone's going to have to touch, but they still have time. They need to get themselves back together as 5, open up with an ultimate. The seismic crash is good. If they can find that pick, it'd be awesome. But running right into a fire strike again is Ian Gremory, not even get a chance to touch, and it will be Ryder walking away. Zin not quite able to get that pinky toe on, so a 4-1 victory on Jag Falls for Ryder.
And I can't think of anything to showcase, like, I guess the lack of healing more than that tail end. When Inara, like, you run in, it is unfortunate to get stunned in that position, but you hit 1,000 health. Genos does whatever he can to dump his healing into you, but okay, now you're at 1,500 health after a couple seconds. You're still going to go down with all the damage that's being thrown at you, and I feel like that's where, again, if you were running Cauterize, that definitely would have been able to shut that down, or if you had kinetics, if you had the Follow the Sun, but they didn't really need it. They just out-damaged the healing.
And that's the big key, I think, when you look at the PGS as a whole. It comes down to what elements are stronger where for the teams that you're seeing. And that time through, Frosted Soul and Dam's SA were just carrying the load without a doubt. Didn't make a difference that it was a Makoa on the board. The damage was just way too much. Although, to be fair, Ikju on the Zin really did perform nicely. It's just, again, when you play the Zin, we see this so often. He's kind of like Buck in the aspect that you can create your own holes, but you need your team to follow up when you do get that penetration. And there was a little bit of a split between the two of them that time through.
It definitely felt like the communication was a little bit more in favor of Ryder for all of that. Like, they just felt like they were expecting each other a little bit more, as well as their performance being just slightly ahead every step of the way, where it's just they read what you would see coming out of Five Gods and prepared themselves for it. Whether or not there was an immediate call out from them, or if it was just reactions coming down from the team, they always seem to have something in store for Five Gods.
Yeah. And sorry to tell you, Gore, I don't know if you saw this, but we're not going to see Fish Market. It was banned.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's an SEA and a Navi thing. Which means that Navi is actually an SEA team.
The entire region
to
one ban.
Bans. I think in SEA, I feel like Fish Market is the map I have seen the most banned.
Okay.
I'm not sure if there's actually a statistic for it.
I'll trust your mind on that one. I'll be honest.
Hopefully, I think I've seen that enough. It might just be all the Fish Market bans I've ever seen always just, for some reason, in my mind, go to SEA.
Well, there will be no more Drogos pressure here from Ryder. Taken off the ban is the first ban from Five Gods. Zin Cassie this time through with the Furious, looking pretty solid, but Ryder is happy to follow up with a very strong frontline combination of Makoa Khan and Droxus Bomb King, again, really good at aerial denial, and when there's Drogos and Willow off the board, that's going to provide a very big pro to your comp versus your opponents.
Curious to see what Ryder want to go as a support, because I feel like we saw the strengths and weaknesses of Genos during the last game, where it's like, okay, we can buff you or we can not heal you. Essentially, like, that's what you're giving up. I'm going to give you a damage amp, but you're not going to get anywhere near the amount of healing you'd get as a Maldamba, per se. So this is going to be, in my mind, like facilitating the Torvald as well as getting the healing. Swift Spirits.
Yep.
Thumbs up for Androxus.
I like Maldamba a lot on this map because, again, you can catch people by surprise just by getting that Swift Spirits and getting around the flanks. But also beyond that, you talk about those point fights. This is probably one of the easiest maps to get full value out of a Dread Serpent, even if you don't hit it, you know, on the nose. You're still going to probably find somebody to get feared out of it. So I like Bright Marsh. It's probably, I would probably venture probably my lowest win rate when it comes to playing a map, but I still love the map. I don't know why. Something about Pip's hometown just makes me feel some kind of identification with it.
And the layout of the map, to me, I think is what makes it feel a lot better, just because... Is that actually Davy Jones' locker? I want to see if he leaves the base with this. Because Davy Jones' locker is probably the most ridiculous talent. Okay, yeah, he changed it to half shell. That's what I was saying. Is like if he actually left the base with that. So what it does is your shell spin won't stop until you cancel it.
Right.
Which means you can just go.
It's
and I've
so
been calling
fun.
it like pinball Makoa. It's not very effective. It doesn't really do anything, but it looks funny.
It looks funny, and sometimes looks are all that matters. I mean, look at us, for instance. We're just out here because we look pretty, right? That's what everyone assumes. Zin into the back line, coming through, but ooh, a nice commander's grab to keep him away from a very low HP target and a shield as well. But I don't know if Dolan's going to have the legs to keep this one alive. Five Gods is shredding right through Ryder. Again, on the backhand of some really good Zin gameplay. This time, this is what we were talking about for a second. It wasn't just the Zin. Look at the follow-up. Anara is out here with him this time. It gives him some providing, you know, of that fallback line if he needs to. Obviously, Anara not the most mobile character in the game. Probably the least mobile character in the game. But the fact of the matter is, this is good Zin gameplay because you can commit and the rest of your team you know is right behind you. It's not just going in to go in. You have to have that little bit of security and a good counter coming through right into Billow. And look at this, the team right there to help him get out. Beautiful play from Five Gods.
If Five Gods could play this round one style, though, and it's very similar to what we saw at the beginning of Jaguar Falls, if they could just play this all game,
yeah,
this would be an easy, clean set for them. Ryder don't seem to have an answer for it, and it's just being able to pick it off. I'm looking at Lyliyen over there to potentially start finding these hooks that pulls out the Zin and makes him uncomfortable. Put him in that isolated area that you had him in the last map and try to keep him under locks.
And this is the great thing about having something like a Fernando, flank Nando, as we are so familiar with from days of old, is the ability to get in, deal some extra damage, and again, provide that shield. It's huge. I Am Ray getting up top, but wow, gets fire strike right in midair and has to obviously fall back down, but also use the reversal, and he's still low HP. He's catching some healing from Eldama, the King Bomb being channeled, thrown right into the face of Anar, who shrugs that off, but still enough damage coming through. The left hook did not connect, but a couple of bombs out of the in-hand from Bomb King do. That'll be enough to start this defense off on the right foot. Ooh, Fury is really low. I think Androxus wanted it, but thought the better of pushing through.
Furia, in this case, has actually showcased probably one of my favorite things about Pyrestar, and being able to get that stun in this giant, I mean, it is a giant vertical pillar, and it's one of those things, on Bright Marsh, you're not going to see it as often take effect in the air, but on other maps that are very vertical, you could be like below someone, theoretically, and still stun them and set them up for your team if they're coming through. I'm looking at like Splitstone Quarry, and those are the moments that it really comes through that I want to see that happen because it's just a different level of coordination.
Inflame coming out, the Accursed Arm as well, but Atrexia takes down one. Igju again, cleaning up for his team. Ancient Rage right in the face of Fury, but the Immortal comes right back out in response and says, we will challenge this turtle. But he still does get out. Big damage again from Zin. Iceberg, if he falls here, it'd be big. Very good pick. That's exactly what you want to see. And we don't see a lot of half shell these days, but against this comp, it makes sense, and he got full value right there to stay alive.
I will say, we'll ignore the spite that missed just because you've been picking up so many kills on the Zin that it honestly doesn't matter that you didn't connect, especially because afterward it was just 2 swings anyway for you. But this is kind of the moments where those are going to start making a small difference, right? That could be a kill on Khan, that could be a kill on Makoa. So being able to hold on to that or use that in a slightly better situation might make the big difference, because as of now, you can't get rid of those big front bodies.
That hurts a little bit, I think, for Ryder, or pardon me, for Five Gods. They wanted to keep that push going, but Anara just got there a little bit too soon. But my goodness, look at the play. It's just left, right, center, inside out, upside down. Ikju's finding kills all over the place, and even still, just barely not hitting the damage of Cassie. But my goodness, the plateau between the two of them to the Bomb King. Not the greatest, but still considerable.
And I love his loadout, just because I think there's so many variations of points to put into Hideout that it's very confusing when you're up against a Zen to try and figure out how long is this going to be. Like, when can I finally shoot
that hook
again?
And the shield.
Most of the time you're firing after the natural cooldown. Sometimes
done.
It's going to be 1 second later, sometimes it's 2 seconds later, and just having that Hideout at level 5 is going to be what I think is keeping him alive as much. No one knows when exactly to hit that final shot, so he gets out pretty clean.
And he's got that big world distance in his cards as well, so he's just moving all over the place. So slippery, which is what you want to keep yourself in the same category of mobility as... Uh-oh, that doesn't hurt. That doesn't feel good. You hate to see it. Oh, Bomb King, wow. Hits the world side of the wall. Goodness gracious. And then again, look how much distance he's covering. 1, 2, 3, line him up, put him down, make it a quadra kill. Ikju, yes, take a rest, my friend. He is cleaning up on this Zen.
I was going to say Bomb King took probably the worst 1v1, or the worst person to take a 1v1 against is going to be Zen, just because he has so much to give him life and keep him stable in that fight. And then you turn it into 4 kills, so you just wipe the entire team. So maybe it isn't just the 1v1 anymore. Maybe it is the comfort coming through. There, again, is going to be the Billow coming through. Dread Serpent not going to be as effective, but it does force Furia away. But that's 96% right now for 5 gods, and it doesn't seem like Ryder have too much to actually push into.
Lyliyen misses a hook again, but this time through, Damsy's able to punish. Gremory is right in the front of things. He's going to be the last hope for this, at least sustained hold. And at this point, you just need to die. You have no way of getting out of here. You just need to make sure you don't stay as staggered as possible. And look at this, a Cursed Arm right up front. Wants to find the Cassie, will, and dismounts the Fernando. That's the target that you want to dismount, because Zin, he will be annoying, but if he doesn't have anybody there to help him out, especially support-wise, he will fall. It'll be Iceberg down first. Overtime in effect, but a nice flank here from I Am Ray, who finds the last shot and takes his time with it. Again, just an R, and this must feel familiar. A little deja vu for her, is actually able to find some support from Fury there, so she will get out. Thought for sure she was going to drop right in the back end of that push. Not the case.
Couple of good shots. They stopped it at 99% as well. That's the thing. Like, Ryder, I don't remember what exactly it was on Jack Falls, but that is the second time that, honestly, that second round did not go their way. It started out incredibly opposite, 5 gods being in complete control, and then they just shrug it off like it's nothing. 99% doesn't mean anything to them. They hold on to it. Zen even showcased how annoying it can be to just reset that overtime timer as much as possible. But like you said, once he's isolated, he doesn't have a whole lot. Once Billow and Whirl are down, he is done.
And that's essentially how you play up against this Zen. I know this could be one of the more frustrating characters to play up against in your games if you're in the lower of the echelon of ranks. It just seems like he never dies. It's just bait out his cooldowns. It's kind of like Vivian. She's annoying to play up against, so you realize you just gotta wait for her shield to be down, and then she's a sitting duck.
Otherwise, you can shoot her toes.
Hey, you gotta watch out for those toes.
I mean, that shield is like perfect. Like, you can, from the knees down, she's open. It's not gonna be a lot of damage. You're not gonna be doing anything insane. Or you can just buy Wrecker. Either one really works. I think Wrecker's probably a little.
Play Bomb King, buy Wrecker.
Just play Bomb King. Bomb King's the best.
I love Bomb King. You know, out of all the games I've ever played, I think Bomb King has some of the most creative design elements to a character ever.
I think he is easily my favorite champion. Like, I don't, in terms of design and or like playstyle, I play a lot of supports, but if I get the chance to play damage, I always play Bomb King, and it is always the time of my life. Does it just
go
so
well?
fun.
Do you
oh
care?
Yeah, I actually do really well with Bomb King. It is so out of the ordinary, because like any other game, like a blaster style has never fit me. I am bad at like rockets. I just like timing them and shooting them and like predicting people has never been my forte, but Bomb King just feels right.
I love it. Lyliyen will get a hook, but it's a little bit after the fact, as he was a little caught out. Khan could not get his shout in proximity. Nice little blast shot to peel away the Maldamba from helping out this front line, but again, now coming back forward is Ryder. Stalled this push out, which allowed us to banter a little bit about the King of the Realm. Although Khan is actually just holding W in front of this Cassie and shrugging him up. Ooh, the Accursed Arm up top! Can it find the last shot needed? It won't. I Am Ray probably got a little bit Monka-esque there, as he was just below 100 HP while he went up for the channel. But, ooh, Commander's Grab able to push right through the shield and be enough damage to take one down. Was that an Inflame that almost came out? Looked to be almost for a second, but she will retain the charge. Overtime in effect, and what looked to be a pretty futile effort for a push is now all of a sudden opened up some green pastures, and this is an opportunity.
All they have to do is be able to hold this. Unfortunately, the payload's moved a little slow, so that is going to allow 5 gods to not only jump down, but be able to contend at least for a little bit. And overtime, the longer it ticks, the faster it goes down. So if Dolan goes down here, if they lose any presence around that payload, that overtime timer is going to be gone, and they barely get it back.
Yeah, but Makoa's the only player really left alive to keep that hope in store, and well, it's all out of stock when it comes to the overtime fading away, so we will go 2-2, but my goodness, I mean, again, look at this Zin gameplay. So he's able to find that, that's where he actually almost missed his whirl, finds the long distance shot, and then immediately turns. This is, again, where's the help? I mean, at a certain point, you have to think that in those comms, Bomb King was sitting there saying, I can handle it. Zin's got nothing left. He just missed his whirl. Then you get turned on, and all of a sudden, it's a totally different ball game, and Ikju will make you pay.
And I feel like the minute Maldamba becomes the target, that's when most focus would switch over. But at that point, I don't know where I Am Ray was. I see both the front lines, one focusing on the objective, one looking like he might be trying to retreat and help. But you need someone who's going to get that burst.
Right.
You need like the Androxus or the Bomb King, but with Bomb King just dying, you don't have that benefit. And so Zen being able to choose his targets very well and reading the map very well so far. The question is whether or not they can keep up that pressure. Last time, 99% still wasn't enough for him.
Seismic Crash coming out to try to start things off for Five Gods. Zigju again in the backline wants to try to find somebody. He will find Makoa, kind of peeled away, and again Lyliyen misses a big hook. Iceberg does fall, but it trades away as a damage dealer for the side of Five Gods is taken off the field as well. Ikju still trying to be a nuisance on the point, and he's successful at doing so. The Spite over on the right-hand side will actually find the support of Darkness, so that's going to be no Meldamba, and now that's going to be Five Gods taking the advantage and running with it. As you will see another hook just barely missing onto that big target you mentioned earlier, Will. Is just, he needs to find these hooks against this Xin to keep him to be a little bit more uncomfortable. This has been, he's been sitting on the sofa here with his comfort level. He's got a lazy boy reclined, just finding kills left and right. It's looking good. And this time, I mean, doesn't need the quadra kill. They grab the point almost like it's nothing. And it just feels as though, I mean, Khan and Makoa both to me don't seem to actually have the full Meldamba behind them. That's kind of the big question I've been having is I see Dolan go in, I see Makoa go in, I see their health drop almost to nothing before a heal actually comes through. It's like, try to get something preemptive in there or try to get it right as they start taking damage, because otherwise you end up in this position where your front line's not going to be stable enough. Khan's shield, as much as it might be, as mighty as it could be, is not enough to really keep him going on his own. A little bit of a 1v1 here on the pier, and oh, how about one of these? Gives him 5 knuckles in the face. Cassie not going to get the full value out of that scout. Does get traded away, but Furia, low HP, will survive, which will keep the hopes for this little bit of a mid-game push going. And if we hit the minute 35 seconds, Fernando falling up forward. Again, Khan needs to be a little bit careful. He's not quite out of position, but look at the health pools behind him, very low. Needs to be careful to make sure he gives his team enough time to heal up. And Ikju wants to go to the backline. Oh, but he misses the Spite. It just goes off the left shoulder. It's just a bit outside. Fernando, though, again, is there. And with that came the Seismic Crash, so he gets out. A Cursed Arm in a really good spot. Needs to find this Furia, though. Finds 2 of the 3. Inflame going to be channeled right afterwards to the movement speed, but fortunately, the team does follow up for I Am Ray to find 2 kills, and make that possibly a 3rd as I Am Ray will get himself 1, not quite 2 actually. Atrexia for the backside will find the pick, and well, he's gonna be the last hope left alive for that hopeful push, and it will be turned aside. Damsey cleaning up the majority of that fight there with the Bomb King. Immediately started bopping on the Cassie as well. If that had gone a little bit better for Atrexia, that could have been a couple more kills. But it seems as though he's keeping himself warm, making sure that he's got everything set for him. It's going to be sitting up there, 114k for Cassie, 99 just behind is going to be DM's SA right here. And as long as he can keep up this pressure, I mean, King Bomb's available. I don't expect Ryder to use it, but that's that comfort play here, right? Where it's just like, okay, well, especially now with 2 kills like that. Once you get rid of Xin, everything's going to go smoothly for them. 20 seconds left. That should be the point. Royal Subjects coming into play, fighting a lot of splash damage in these tight corridors. You know, they say the mantra is close is only good enough in horseshoes, hand grenades, and Royal Subjects. Yes, the old phrase. The old phrase. Horseshoes, hand grenades, and also Royal Subjects. And also Royal Subjects. There's a pull. Lyliyen, get yourself one. Oh, it doesn't even get the self, though, as the shield comes up. Feels bad. Immediately retreats. Immediately retreats. But this is that moment I was talking about. Dolan, he's on this right-hand side, trying to keep the flank alive. We'll get a really good commander shout in, and that's just going to open up, again, that extra damage boost to come through. They find a stun off of what looked to be a Pyre Strike, or probably not a Pyre Strike, a Bomb King, Grumpy Bomb. And that'll be enough, again. You get those small moments. Yeah, it's SEA. They can turn into great opportunities. That was the case that time around for Ryder as they got themselves through, but 3-3 is the total as we see it. The healing total's just about even as well. So, I mean, we got ourselves a pretty even ball game here in Bright Marsh. And this point, I think, is going to come down to when Spite comes up, is it going to hit, is it going to miss? When a Cursed Arm comes up, is it going to get a kill, or is he going to flounder at the end? There's been so many shots where he's hit 2, maybe 3, but it's left someone at just enough health that all they have to do is peek back, let Furia do whatever, and then they're set. And like that, Zin's going to be off the board, and now the point is going to be wide open here for Ryder. That's not a pull you generally miss. The overpowered coming out, a Commander's Grab also throwing Atrexia back. That's a big moment for Ryder. This has been a nice opening for a team fight. We haven't seen this yet. Fernando also falling low. For some reason decided he wanted to sprint in. They do find Damn SA, so that's going to take down 1. The Spite onto the point, but he misses the Meldamba again, and the Dread Serpent to counter. That's 2 deaths in a row for Ikju. He's been carrying this squad, not going to get a chance to do this here, and now it's up to who's going to touch. Anara is low, and that's a good play from I Am Ray. Just poke and come on back, and now the Accursed Arm right into the tight corridor. It finds a lot of damage, but doesn't secure any kills. Fernando into the Immortal wants to try to keep this point alive. It needs to. 87% for the team in red. Lyliyen gets a pull, but he gets taken down immediately after, and it's a full reset here as Five Gods has found themselves the point.
87% as of right now, but that 39 is going to start ticking up a lot higher if Five Gods can maintain this control. But unfortunately, they're just getting piled on. Ryder are going at them with full force. They recognize they have the numbers advantage in a 4v5, and all they have to do, if they can get rid of this Fury, that healing is going to be gone, and so is Inara.
A steamroller pushing right on through. Igju's going to be one of the last hopes left. The scout comes out again, but very low HP as Atrexian. He will fall away. Igju, you got to touch, but there's the pull that matters. He's able to take him out, and that's going to be another overpowered coming out. Take a swim, why don't you? Ryder, in very extravagant fashion, will take the map 4-3, and I'll tell you, I'll just be the first one to say it. Lyliyen was not quite there for a lot of that match, but he hits the pull that matters. Walk away feeling good about that one, my friend.
Exactly what I was thinking. I was like, man, you miss hooks on this guy literally the entire game. You have not landed one, but the final throw. Like, you know what? I guess it's finally time.
Yeah.
You're getting shut down. We're taking it out. This is our game.
Everything was a warm-up until that point for the hooks. That's fine.
Trying to figure out, like, okay, so this is how you move? Okay, well, there we go.
Well, there's still that little, you know, when I play Mako, I still think I need to go a little bit to the left, like, because the hook sometimes comes off the left, sometimes comes to the right. Hey, he found it out. That's the one that mattered. We have fun, but that was a heck of a pull right when it matters. Take a look at the standings. What does that mean for us as we've gone through so far? Again, Five Gods put up a really good fight there, but not able to find anything, so they will fall down to 0-2, unfortunately. Ryder, though, looking solid up top. That's got to feel pretty good.
I will say Five Gods and Ryder, honestly, both in the same experience I think that they had last week when it came down to it, whereas yes, Ryder was winning their games, but every single one of them felt like it was like, man, that could have gone wrong. Like, just one half is what it took for you guys to actually get that win. That 4-3, a lot closer, and I think that's kind of a downside to Five Gods, is that 0-2 doesn't really showcase those map scores and how well you are actually accomplishing it, but they've been right there. So even though it's 2-0-0-2, you're still looking at pretty neck-and-neck competition.
And the thing is, when you get into those close matchups, you can start to take a look at, okay, what went wrong, you know, on a more mechanical level. Those big blowouts, it's like, all right, well, we could have just drafted poorly, or maybe we just didn't have the performance we thought we would. But those games that do go 4-3, I mean, Ryder for the entirety of that Brightmarsh map was playing from behind. It wasn't until that last push that really started to find some success in those early team fights. And hey, that's eye-opening as you move forward and you're sitting undefeated at the moment, but where you grow, where you get better from there.
And it's in that similar vein, I mean, what you had actually said just because at the very beginning of that was that beginning of the fight, or the beginning of the round fight from Ryder was something that hadn't been happening at all in that game.
Yeah.
And so they finally picked that up, but with the way things have been going, they seal their deal, and now we get to go see if we have the same kind of performance if Wolfpack can kind of pick themselves up.
Yeah, need to, and well, we'll just let you know right off the bat, they did not start the day off properly. They were a little tardy.
Yeah.
Alarm clocks didn't go off at the right time. Wolfpack will, they actually forfeited the first map by disqualification. So as far as, you know, starting the day off right, I don't think that there is...
That's like, they always say, like, start off on the right foot, and that's like, you take that step, and not only is there a spike, you step on it and then trip onto your face.
That's kind of like what happens when you play Slay the Spire.
That too, yeah.
I'm just
you step on
trap.
You fall on your face.
I'm so bad at that game. So we'll be authority.
I'm bad.
Okay, well, you know what? We'll be bad at those games together, Gord. That's why we get along so well.
That's why the grind is truly real. It keeps it fun, because you're just like, man, I know I can be that good maybe one day.
Yeah. It's the hope.
Except at Drogos.
Keeps you going.
I'm never going to be good at Drogos.
You know, I don't know what it is about Drogos. I'm in the same boat.
I'm glad that I'm not alone in that, because I feel like everyone I've ever played against always is great at Drogos. And I'm just like, what do you do?
If you ever have the time and you feel fury to search for it, there's a clip from a long time ago that I was playing Drogos against a Pip, and it got clipped where he literally was dodging back and forth and ended up doing the little Pip dance, and I still missed him, and he ended up coming back and killing me. It was not my problem.
That's an unfortunate.
Go ahead.
Dumbo is not.
That's actually, seeing Makoa make it through, that does give me a flashback. On Frog Isle, there's a point I was pushing in the payload, doing the breakdance on top of the payload. Just well, because it was
this is the match that I really want to watch.
It was 3-0, it was like 5 minutes in, and I'm like, I'm just gonna stand on this and do the breakdance emote, and then one of my teammates died and blamed me because I was not doing anything, which admittedly it was my fault. But
to be fair though, if you were not on the payload, they would have yelled at you for not being on the payload.
True.
So you got
there was no win scenario there.
Yeah. It's one of those frontline struggles. Cassie Drogo's taking away Con Torvald on the opposite side for Wolfpack. We'll try to talk about this game, I promise. I don't know what your thoughts are about Terminus, but I still have that bitter taste in my mouth from when he was being played in the summer, where he only won a single game and is yet to really find much success even in this iteration here in the fall.
That was pretty much how I was feeling about him a few days ago. It's just, it's in that same area where it's just like sometimes he looks great, sometimes he does a lot of damage, and then sometimes he falls flat. He just has no impact at all on the game. So it kind of, to me, I think depends on if we're seeing people go with his decimation style, go for what I've been calling like shotgun terminus, where he just does enormous amounts of damage, or if they're still going for this undying, like I'm actually going to be a tank kind of feel, because when he is that tank, once that reanimate gets popped, most of the time he gets burned immediately, especially if he ends up against something like an Androxus, which so far has been the matchup I've been seeing, is just reversal into an insta-kill. Luckily, we're not going to have to deal with that this game, so Mux is probably pretty happy.
Yeah, that moment that Loki had the other day, I think it was Loki who was playing Androxus, soaked up that entire thing. And just, it was reversal, one shot from a pistol and a left hook. It felt good, man.
It felt bad if you're on the receiving. Like you're terminus and you're like, this is my ult. Okay, I'm dead again.
Felt good to watch. Well, there'll be a Willow this time around, but the interesting thing about this is we're going to be seeing a quote-unquote double support coming out of Wolfpack with the Grok Ying, and I say quote-unquote because I don't imagine the Grok will be supporting all that much.
Nope.
Mux trying to find this right-hand side perspectively just to start things off for Wolfpack, and wow, look at this. They've shrugged off everybody, and Inara sitting here. She's in her mother's grace, but she's getting absolutely body blocked. Wanted to get the point, couldn't do it, but where's the follow-up? This might be the downside of Wolfpack. They do not have a lot of chase in this build. Who's going to finish off these kills? 23 HP is Mux, and he will be taken down by the support of Wanda for first blood. Sailor going to throw up a shock pulse. It will bounce around like a pinball for a while, and that's going to be the good target, I would say, about Grok is against the Nara, there's a lot of free confirmation when it comes down to hitting those shock pulses. You can throw it on the warder's field and it will still interact as it would a normal body. Salmon Time on the left-hand side now trying to find some funneling damage as the victor, and already we see a Tempest coming out. That's going to be a whole W for Wolfpack, and they're able to find 3 off the back end of it, so well found, made that 4. It's just the Willow who was still trying to respawn, so a good retake from Wolfpack, staying together, making full use of that ultimate.
The big thing Wolfpack have going for them is the fact that since they're running, like you said, the quote-unquote double support, once you see Grok, especially when he was picked where he was, you don't really know, is this going to be Maelstrom or is he trying to solo heal? So the Willow is a great counter to deal with Grok, just because now your healing totem does not matter. Dead Zone just cancels it. If you put Ying into the equation, all of a sudden Dead Zone, you're trying to figure out where am I placing this, because all they have to do is move. That illusion can be anywhere. That heal from the right click coming down with life exchange now can be anywhere.
Yeah, the thing is with Willow, nicely played there, able to find the last bit of burst needed to take down the Bomb King. But on the point, we are going to see an Immortal well triggered in the seismic crash, but the damage was just too much, and there was no damage to follow up for Authority, so that first point will go to Wolfpack. And what I was about to say for the side of Authority with this Willow is there is going to be a lot of that split focus. You need to be able to make sure, number one, you're going to be free in the air. No one's going to be able to take you out of the air at this point in time. The range is just not high enough, the damage is not high enough from a hit scan point of view for Wolfpack, but you have to not only know where you throw out these dead zones, but if you can find, even using the seedlings on top of the illusions to take down the illusions, that's going to be really her job, I would say, in my mind.
And being able to play it a little bit more patiently. I feel like I've seen Zed really get aggressive, like get in their face trying to play this Willow.
Stay back.
And every single time it's like, well, you're getting met with Bomb King, Grok. Like, it doesn't matter who else is there. If you just have Bomb King versus you, generally the closer you are, the more likely he is going to be the one that wins. Your shots are going to be way more accurate at that range. You can actually hit people and blast them from far away. Try to play it a little bit more patiently, and you can pick up doubles and triples.
Look at this. The Tempest used once again and doesn't really find any kills in the front end, but it's completely tears apart Authority at the seams, keeping an Inara way out of position. They're actually going to stagger her super late. Meanwhile, Mux is getting up in there, as they say, as he's able to find one, and now Maldama is going to sit and consider his fate, which will be met with an untimely death. Again, all staggers, good pushes again here from Wolfpack. That's all in the back end of one ultimate, Gord. That's incredible.
And just being able to utilize this, I mean, Tempest has been one that can be game-changing if the team uses it properly, and being able to use that movement to kind of get around and reposition yourselves. Authority don't seem to know what's coming at them. It's like a giant wall just running you down. But now you're starting to see the defense come through. No ult, no big standings, no great healing coming down from Wolfpack as of right now. And so you're going to be looking at Ying once her ult comes online if they want to pop that. But King Bomb, Immortal, Reanimate, both of the, or all 3 of those, usually ults you don't want to use just to end a round.
Yeah, but if you could go up 2-0 earlier, that might be worth. It just depends on what success they find. Look at the Inara again. Where is she going? She's still actually moving forward. She's got a good wall down, but where's the damage to follow up? Nobody else is with her. And the Willow needs to be in there to find that extra damage. The ceilings would be huge. Finally, Zed able to find one. Now they got an angle to find more. It happened a little late, but it did happen. So there's 2, make it possibly 3. There it is. And maybe even a 4th. But look at this. Again, like, that was a moment of success, but just barely for Authority. They almost missed their opportunity. And Conqueror, he saw the opportunity to move forward as none of his team came with it. So those are little moments that you look at and say, yes, it was a successful defense, but could we have done that with more, no pun intended, authority?
The Grandmaster's team is like...
You could have done it like cleaner.
Yes.
That is the best way. It's like, yes, you held them off, and honestly, you pushing up probably gave your team that advantage that they really needed, but the biggest issue is you were up there alone for 10 seconds before that follow-through game then. If that's there, like you said, pretty much from the beginning, all of a sudden you see Creams, Sacred Asura, Mux, Knife all going down in that corridor instead of being able to retreat a little bit. And of course your Inara Sai feeling maybe a little bit unloved in terms of healing with the way things walked out of that.
Yeah.
But with this point, everything going in again, you're looking at Reanimate, King Bomb probably being huge. Tempest's already almost back up, so pretty much everything Wolfpack have in their arsenal might make the big difference.
I like the Lightning Rod here too. Just that extra little bit of healing for yourself. It keeps Ying, you know, focused on where she needs to focus on, not have to worry about Sailor. You can see it actually coming into play right there. Gets poked down to about a quarter HP and then immediately right back up. And again, that's the full value there. Look at this again. Look at Inara is just caught out a little bit, but ooh, actually able to find the last little bit of the Stone Spear burst, take down Sailor, but now has a much more formidable opponent in the Terminus, but again, got a little bit of help from the Makoa. Immortal being used a little bit more aggressively. Seismic Crash coming out, will find 1, but is there enough damage to follow up on this Fernando, who continues to move forward, actually? And Conqueror is doing a pretty good job of holding their ground. They need to find this kill. There it is, finally cleaned up, and now it looks like it might be Authority's time to take control on this point. They still have to go through the Terminus. He does have the Reanimate available, and we just saw the wall go down, but not going to bother pulling it. No damage or support there to help keep Terminus alive for that second life, so they will think the better of using ultimates here.
A lot of what Authority did throughout all of that was very much isolate and kill.
Yes.
That stun ends up going on to Fernando, but a lot of it was, let's keep him away from Bomb King, we'll kill Bomb King, then we can kill Fernando, then we can go and kill Terminus. Like, they're just moving target to target to target, and now they've regained control of the point. That's 99%. All they need to do is hold on to it, but Salmon Time gets 1, Zergetto gets another, and that's opening the point up for Authority.
And at this point, with those kills, you hate to see it. You would have loved in that fight if you're Wolfpack to get the Reanimate in some instance at any point at that time. Not able to do so, though. Great damage. And this is the thing that Authority has to start to recognize is they win the poke battle with this Willow right now. The Willow Victor, it's a lot of burst damage, a lot of consistent damage that they can continue to put down things like Cauterized Pressure, as well as the Dead Zone on top of that. There's just so much poke that Authority has. They need to just kind of use that patience. The moment that they start to kind of get in that gray area is the moment that you start to see things like King Bomb and Tempest get more effectiveness because of their ability to change the tide so quickly.
Now you're in this... I want to say like the most awkward spot on Bright Marsh. This payload is going to move up a little bit, and it's going to hit this archway, and this is where Wolfpack really have to step up. Sai going to be able to get the first kill, and that immediately makes it a 4v5. You get rid of one of the bigger damage dealers, and with this nice long-range play barrage available, Victor can just go for it. He has no worries in the world.
Goodness gracious, he's just sitting here having himself the time of his life. Meanwhile, Zed up front, the Reanimate does come out, but is there enough? Zed finds himself 3 kills in a row, looking to make it 4. Dead Zone in a really good spot, will find 5 in a row actually as he gets onto a rampage 4 in this spree. Salmon Time now taking the reins, and Authority is able to push that one through. Bomb King, what happened there? Everyone left the point, and Inara, who was just kind of lingering next to the wheels of the payload, will get themselves a successful push. 3-1 Authority.
Sai Conqueror is in the most awkward spot you can be in a game, where he is on a 20 streak as a frontline. You need to be on the point. You are also the most likely to die, and you can't really afford the downtime of getting yourself off the map to get rid of the streak. If you jump off the map, your team has to be, at this point, like 75%, you're feeling comfortable, you recognize that Wolfpack doesn't have any ults, maybe you burned a little bit, but I'm looking at that maybe making a potential swing. The Wolfpack, I mean, admittedly, their ults haven't been hitting as hard as they could, at least as hard as they were during that first round, so I don't know if Authority need to worry too much.
And you saw there for a second as looking at the items, all of the Rejuvenate that was coming out from Wolfpack, and my question immediately goes over to Ying. Is she waiting for to get out of Dead Zone before she starts to heal them? Because otherwise it's just wasted investment. Fernando gets pulled out, but sprints right on back, so All for naught. Up in the air is the Fae Flight for Willow, and Salmon Time and
What
Psychotic
is
are
this
moving
Makoa
through
shooting?
very nicely, and this might be a big stagger, and
nice.
that will be a full
Hey,
team
look
wipe
at this. They got,
onto
they just got
Wolfpack.
wiped off.
Ying trying to
They
get
just got
themselves
wiped.
away.
And then you can
We'll be
see
able to
the
do so, but again,
look at the growth.
50+%. It's going to hit 60 before Wolfpack can even touch at this point.
And if they can go with some really good dismounts, I actually think I see Terminus sneaking through on the left. If they had been able to get everyone pretty much knocked off of the bat, that would have been not necessarily the capture, but a lot cleaner. They wouldn't have to worry about the front lines, but they've separated them. Sailor goes down, Mux's about to go down as well, and no reanimate means no more Terminus.
Whoa!
But the healing is solid.
Oh my goodness, how do they miss that opportunity? Look at the frontliners. Makoa and Anar are so split apart.
Oh
they
my
weren't able
God.
to come back
Ow.
and take care of Terminus, and all of a sudden, Wolfpack with that boost that happens with the capture point since they're back, that comeback mechanic looking good. Tempest moving on forward. It's going to split apart. Look again. Look how spread apart Authority is. They don't know how to deal with this Tempest. They get picked up by 2 from Sailor of all people. 70%. Ying is going to go into the Illusionary Rift just to help the sustain healing up. And I don't know if anyone's going to be able to touch us in time. Look how fastly burned the Makoa was even in Ancient Rage. It's just down to the Inara now. The Dreadsilver comes out, but reanimate right in response. Won't find any damage, but still they're here. Overtime in effect, and this might just be it, Goremizer.
Okay, Sai doing whatever he can, but that 99 is looking to turn into 100 again. All you need is a little bit of hope, a team fight, and comeback mechanic, and it helps you at least stay in the game. But Authority, I mean, they had a lot of Authority.
Man.
They got to 87. They were holding themselves well. And then that one fight, that
God,
1v1, Mux stays alive. And everyone's spread out, everyone, like the communication falls apart. I think they thought they had it, and you can't let moments like that slip through.
No.
And that was beautiful from Fernando and Mux to be able to kind of separate the team.
Well, not only that, but that power siphon came up at just the right time, allowing himself to get healed up. And now look at this.
That. Oh my God.
Minute 58, payload moving for free, a lot of space gained. Fernando now moving forward as well with Mux. Look at this double flanking front line. It's doing so much separation, and how does that backline deal with it? The answer is they don't. Sailor picks up 2, 1 from the Shock Pulse and 1 from the Lightning Rod itself. And now Authority has to sit and wait in base until all 5 are there, and goodness, you have 4 of the 5 ultimates for Wolfpack. You might not even need them, which will put you in a really good spot going into a 3-3 if it does happen. Sacred Asura, though, getting poked back. Sailor also getting taken down, which will leave the frontliners without much support. This time they get Mux down before he can have a full impact like he did previously, which will cause a reset for Wolfpack.
And I think it's fantastic for Authority to be able to jump down and still have this kind of performance, especially after that momentum just kind of rolled them. But there's also one big issue, and that's just that there's a minute left. I mean, this payload is right on your doorstep, and you have to not only defend for a minute, but you still have to kill some of these people who are still sitting here from the last time. Sailor looks to be going down one more time, so that's going to be twice in a row that you get rid of the Grok. You need to get and displace these front lines. Get rid of Fernando as fast as you can, and try to make sure, maybe even burn the Immortal.
And just as if you took a page out of Mux books, Psy Conqueror survives with less than 1 bar of health,
just have a normal
which may not have meant much as far as the success or fail when it came to defending, but regardless, the point still stands. Less than 30 seconds left now, and Salmon Time will put himself on this little planting pot right next to the right-hand side of the payload, and will get himself a lot of damage. Again, this is the victor that you like to see. It's just grenade, 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 lots of random fire, but goodness, where's the target prioritization? Again, Sailor kind of getting picked, but Salmon Time has been all over the place. He's just kind of spraying the broadside of a barn right now. Needs to find the right target. And what is the right target seems to be the question at the moment. Mux just put himself out. The powers have been coming through. There's a good grenade right at the backside of it. We'll take him down. Creams, though, does find the Makoa. An opportunity still here. Maybe not so much anymore as Inara will find Creams. That's a big pick. Zed also falling low, though. So a lot of low health pulls. Who's going to be able to sit there and touch? Salmon Time needs to get back. He will just in time. Goodness, that was close. Fernando almost did the exact same thing that Inara did previously with that push, but wise enough and aware enough was the rest of the team. But here are these ultimates. Again, Sailor is just moving right on in there. Gets himself 2 big kills, leading to what was a successful conversion of that payload point.
And he seems to be the make or break for this team right now. Like, Wolfpack are doing phenomenally when Sailor's doing great, and then when Sailor dies too many times, all of a sudden everything starts to fall apart. And that just showcases exactly how much damage. I mean, that's 121k that he has been able to bat up. 10, 13, 14. But once that Tempest is gone, once he is gone, that damage starts slowing down. You're relying very heavily on Creams to be able to hit every single bomb. Sacred Asura has to start shooting a little bit, and unless all of them, the other 4 at that point, are on point, losing Sailor means everything. So if he can keep his life going, I think that'll make a big difference.
This is what I was looking forward to, as his healing stats. The Ying is doing an okay job, but the dead zone definitely playing a factor. But the combined healing, it is still pretty much an even ball game between Ying Grok versus that Maldamba. Now Salmon time again. Someone needs to get him off of this back line. He's actually going to go help out. This is big, but oh no, he's not able to get there in time, and he actually pulls the barrage as well. But the King Bomb right in his face with the Tempest behind it. But where is he going? Creams, you need to get back to the point. He doesn't find any value whatsoever out of it. Ancient Rage back onto the actual capture point itself, but again gets burned down by Wolfpack. Looking good. Salmon time in the sprint to get away. Zed trying to find whatever damage he can on the Willow, but Creams is doing just as much with the in-hands, and the separation is good. Seismic Crash is enough to get a stun, but not a kill. And Creams is able to find his backline counterpart. Look at this play. He's doing it. This is incredible. He doesn't actually get any kills, but he pulls everybody back from Authority, allowing Wolfpack to get the point. Distraction, just as good as damage in that instance.
And in all of that, he is getting in their face. That's the big thing. We were mentioning it earlier, but if you're Willow, if you're Victor, like, don't fight Bomb King on his territory, which is going to be within 30 feet of Bomb King. You need to be a little bit further away. It makes it harder to hit those bombs more consistently, and it also makes it easier for your shots to be able to find that consistency. I mean, Victor has such a high DPS, but the problem is that it's very much sustained damage. He has to be able to hold it, he has to channel it, versus what you see out of like Bomb King and Willow. So if Salmon time gets jumped on, he really needs that barrage to connect. He needs something to go right, and that entire fight for him just was jarred. He didn't know how to approach it.
It looked a little bit like a panic ultimate. He wanted to help out. The mindset was good. The awareness was good to go help out the Willow, but just a little bit late.
To the other team
as Evan would say, a day late, a dollar short.
You cannot just play in a one
trouble.
team and
Little shell spin back, getting a lot of help from Salmon time that time through. Again, just a lot of damage. You can hear him ringing the bell. Those headshots. That time on a Sailor, who has been the target more often than not. Fernando also getting a good deal of poke. Grenade right over the top will connect for a couple, and that will instantly reset it. And again, more damage there, forces the Ghost to walk out. But oh, they're all clumped up. The barrage is big, but not enough confirmed damage to find any kills. It's just helping everyone peel back. Zed, where's that damage? They're in this nice little area that you need to be popping off at. And Salmon time will find a little bit of a snipe. Long distance, make that 2. As Mux was in a weirdly awkward spot for a minute, and that will be the first part of a successful defense so far.
I love the way Salmon time is playing with this grenade, though. It's just one of those things. We've seen multiple ways for Victor to be played. Burst mode has kind of been on the rise on PC, but Shrapnel is still incredible, and especially for a map like Brightmar, Shrapnel feels great. The same reason that Bomb King and Willow feel great, because everyone gets put together in this close quarter. You're going to hit 3 people, you get that instant reset, and you're getting a ton of burst damage as long as you can keep it channeled. Now, we're going to be looking towards what can Sailor and the rest of the team do, but finally, the Seedling Zed, it looks like he's starting to have this impact, but that's going to be 2 kills right off the bat. Authority are going to be losing that pressure.
And again, you talked about the brilliant positioning and use of the abilities from the Victor. I would like to be able to say the same thing about Willow, but I just feel like she hasn't had the vertical presence that she should be getting for essentially free, especially lately. Early on in the game, it looked like it was going pretty well with how she was fluttering up to high ground and using that Fae Flight, but so far in the more recent parts of this game, it has not looked as good. Psy Conqueror in a little bit of a melee battle up in the trenches with the Terminus, but will change his focus to Creams, who will be taken down. Really goodly, well found rather. But there's still a lot of pressure here from Wolfpack. Frontliners still in pretty much, well, I was about to say in a plethora, but they are being taken down very increasingly without having that support there from the Grog. And it will just be Mux left alive. Reanimate could be used, but not going to be, not with a 3-3. So we will be drawn out into one last point fight.
And honestly, I think that makes it a little bit more of an intense match for Authority at this point.
And that's why you need
have
to
not been going their way.
No.
I mean, payloads have barely been going their way towards the tail end. Once ults are available for Wolfpack, which most of them at this point are the ones that have been making the big difference, that is going to be how do we approach this fight. I mean, Salmon time's 21-7-25,
huge.
But I feel like at the beginning of each round, we don't see him doing as much. It's always after a payload starts going or whenever he finally gets that nice open range, as opposed to on the point fight.
Interesting as well to see Zed going into a Haven. And again, he's got the most deaths on his team. I don't mean to call out one person in particular, but the only time you should be getting hit by anything direct damage is if you are too far forward. So it's just interesting to take a look at how that's going. He does have the Wrecker as well, but look at this high ground play by Wolfpack. They're able to get up top with the Fernando and the Bomb King, although immediately shrugged off by Salmon Time. There we go. Zed able to find 1 kill. That's on the right-hand side, and now Faye Flight up in the middle of the air. This is huge. The Seedlings up in the forward spot to create some space. Over on the left-hand side, perspectively, though, Zed has a lot of targets in front of him. Needs to find the connections. If he can take down this Fernando, it would be huge, because him and Mux play Terminus also very low, but he's getting pushed right back out by Creams. Fortunately, the rest of his team is able to get back here and convert on both frontliners. So this is going to be a big stall as far as Wolfpack is concerned. They can find this Ying as well. It'd be big. Oh, and there it is. Psy Conqueror taking him down. It's just going to be up to Bomb King to try to find something to happen. The Tempest coming out needs to be able to touch and will be able to do so. And look at that. Even beyond that, the rest of the team for Wolfpack blow right on by.
Oh my
Not even waiting for the door to be open. They kick it down, move right on in. And the 99% that looked good for Authority SCA is now suddenly not looking so great.
But this is what becomes a 6th man to play for. A beautiful hook, a couple of swings, and that's going to be at least 1 kill. Trying to find a second one, but Reanimate is available for Mux. He has to pop it if he wants to go forward. That shield is going to soak up the damage, but now his health bar is back. He has the power siphon. Can they take him down?
Yeah, the Ying is doing a good job. Really good forward position there from the Inara. Put the wall up, keep the separation between healers and frontliners. They have plenty of time to play with this Authority. They need to be able to punish these frontliners and these backliners as well if they possibly can. Anyone pulled out but Creeps, he finds himself too. This is the last thing you wanted to see happen. You had 99%. Just take down the damage dealer who pushed aggressively. They wanted to play the point so badly, and all of a sudden, Wolfpack, they're in control. They're looking to put this one away.
Zed locked behind, gonna get caught out, and Wolfpack, it doesn't even matter. They don't need to kill the Willow. They have the point.
Oh no. That feels so bad.
You get to 99%. You're holding that overtime.
Teaching moment.
And then this lonely Bomb King comes in and just demolishes your time.
It's one of those things that, again, if you go back and you were watching this, an overhead of that last fight, you're at 99%. It's in overtime. Wolfpack is, what 70%, if that? As they're capturing, it's an even game. You see how spread apart Wolfpack has. You just have to back off the point. This is what Na'Vi does so well, and why they beat teams, you know, that sometimes maybe they shouldn't. When you said Fnatic as strong as they were at the beginning of the summer, beginning of the spring, Na'Vi adjust. They know when they have their advantages. They pull off the point. They take care of these penetrating forces that are becoming a nuisance in the backline, and then they come back forward with numbers. Missed opportunity there for Authority. That one gets away, so Wolfpack will take a 4-3 win. But again, big Tempests from Sailor is allowing this team to do that. We're going to move into Stone Keep, another pretty enclosed map. Very short map, though, too.
I'm kind of curious to see what Wolfpack is going to change in terms of their draft, because a lot of what they just played, to me, felt Bright Marshy. Right?
Yes.
It's a very Bright Marsh-centric draft, which makes sense if you're on Bright Marsh, but there's a lot that you have to interchange. Immediately banning out snipers, which to me says that not only does Authority really like them, but that Wolfpack expects them and is afraid of them. But this leaves open Torvald,
yes.
You leave open every single frontline. Makoa is available as well, so depending on how Authority want to approach this, I wouldn't mind seeing them try to maybe scoop away the Androxus.
No, I mean, why not? I mean, this map is one of those really interesting things with flankers that the opportunities to get actual flanking routes are small, but when you do find them, very big. Cassie Maldamba picked up with Torvald and Androxus. You mentioned the power that it has, and your look, I think, says more than 1,000 words.
I was more upset because I was like, okay, they've got Torvald.
Right.
You know they're probably going to go Androxus, because right now I think he's on the top of that flanker list as to who you're going to get, and then maybe you have to start falling towards others. But there's other people he can enable, but Androxus has been #1. And I'm like, if I'm Wolfpack there, I'd go Torvald, Androxus, Makoa. Like, because he was still available. The fact that they let that through to me means that they are very much relying on this Genos, which is going to be helpful. I think you really just need the bubble, but now you have the double damage amp,
yes,
which is going to be, I can't think of a better word other than just ridiculous.
Well, yeah.
Androxus goes bang bang, everyone's dead.
This is literally just this entire
bang,
draft
bang,
is just fascinating on the fact that Androxus is going to pop off.
Yeah.
Torvald, Genos to help boost it. Victor and Barrick will be there if you need them to be there. Wow. I think Wolfpack got everything they wanted in this draft somehow, some way. But Authority SCA, I mean, they've got themselves, you know, a lot of potential as well, a lot of game change that can be out of this roster. I mean, you have a lot of utility, not only from the ultimates themselves, but just their kits overall have so much from front to back. Support, damage, everything is there. Of course, you've got the old timeless frontline duo of Makoa Fernando, but Also on top of that, again, you're going to be looking at an impulse from Cassie as well as the death and taxes from Salmon Time. So a lot of that in-hand cauterize, we assume. Yes. Generally, you would think so.
A lot that's going to be coming in, and again, like you said, this is a very solid composition on the one side. When you rely on Cassie, you rely on Leon. Most of the time, they're going to be hitting consistent shots. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It doesn't require them to pop off. You just have to hit some damage every now and then. Whereas on the other side, Knife has to be hitting headshots. He has to be going in. He has to be aware of his positioning with these bubbles. And he just has to make sure that he doesn't give up his life. But if he can keep a boxing match like this, it really doesn't matter. He's getting the better end.
This is not where Makoa wants to be. Sitting here waiting and baiting, out this Androxus and then missing a hook, which means he's immediately going to get punished. That's just a free go for Knife. If that hook's down, hit the gas pedal. Creams will take down one. Fernando also low. And again, this is the power of having an Androxus. It's not only the damage, but his ability to go from left to right so quickly on such a small map. And you can see exactly how he's able to do that. Again, finding one, now pushing in for the second. Will he find the left hook to take down the Makoa? It looks like he will shell spin away.
Now looking to try and dash around. And again, Androxus is going to be immediately in the aspect. A beautiful hook onto Sailor. Goes into the backline. Does get rid of this Victor very, very quickly, but unfortunately, I feel like it's not going to give you the presence that you really wanted. Reversal has to be big here. 60 health right now, trying to dash around. Does not have the loadout to heal up, but that shield making him 2060 gets the healing going. And now Zed, if you could just look at him, he's right behind you.
Oh, missed opportunity there, but how could he have possibly known? Maybe there was no way. Zed was already low HP and had to back up. Now it's an opportunity for Authority to move on forward. You can see both frontliners holding down Main Street here right in front of Zed, who is not taking an eye on the vines to his right, and Torvald sneaks right up behind. He does get disengaged, and now Androxus coming in, being enabled. The left hook right to the face. It's always fun to see from Androxus' side of you, but rarely do you see it from the opposite end, and that was just as enjoyable. Knife finding a kill off the Accursed Armor. Now moving forward has Makoa low, and the pull will actually bring him more into that close range to confirm the kill, so thank you very much. And now one more shield right into the Fernando. Same fate met.
My favorite thing about what Knife has been accomplishing is you can see him relying, and this actually goes specifically back to the last time he was boxing Zed. Zed takes a step left, a step right, he misses.
Oops, what happened?
2 shots on.
Oh, fuck. What is that?
Looking at something that is a composition relying on.
The game inside the game right now. Salmon Time versus Sailor. Happened last game a bunch, happening still here. As he will get an assist there on the Knife as well, so the damage dealer is falling apart. Really good shots connecting as well. Another presence, Salmon Time. Goodness gracious.
Ah, something is happening.
He's looked great so far, hitting a lot of shots on the Leon. Of course, you anticipate that, Victor not the hardest character in the world to play, but a lot of these presences coming through are looking really solid at the moment from Salmon Time, although he does get traded away that time from Knight.
What the fuck?
He's been looking really good damage-wise.
A lot of control, but you could tell that there was like that moment of, I don't know who I need to target specifically to get them all the way down. Being able to switch between 2 people in a 1v2, you have to be able to hit one, then the other to stay alive in a scenario like that. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't as of right now. Sailor is looking to get aggressive. A ton of headshots. I think still really relying on like Knife for the flanks, opening up this position. He doesn't have a lot on his own, and with a hook like that, he's not going to live long in this world.
Zergetto has looked great so far in this Makoa. He's hit a lot of long-range pulls on good targets, to be completely candid as well. I mean, he's...
Oh, watching YouTube? Is there it? Oh. I didn't see it.
Exactly what line they need to hold. Unfortunately, they are getting low, and they do need to retreat, but with only 13 seconds left, they don't have to give up much room.
Not at all. Zergetto trying to channel his inner Akeem Olajuwon with that jump hook, but misses. Able to find the second pull that time. Again, that's the target you want to find, I would say, is just get the Torvald out of there, make him use his recharge, but goodness, when Knife is not afraid whatsoever to push in, well, there's not much you can do against that. And look at this, knowing that the Leon's not there, he wants to get aggressive. That's a really smart play from Knife, able to find the support of Wanda. that might keep this push just a little bit more alive, although he's having a hard time doing the same. Able to find himself back out. Salmon Time back alive, and will find enough poke to take down Creams and successfully sustain the defense. And once again, Zergetto just does a little bit of a bonus. Hits one late. That was a really, really good channel.
Real solid.
Yeah.
And it's in that perfect area as well where you know you're going to be able to hit a couple people. Right now, a Cursed Arm has been one of the best, like, executes without being an execute that is out there. Just being able to go up against a Cassie and Lyliyen, you hit 2, 3 of those shots, they're guaranteed dead for you, so you can kind of get the ball rolling. And if they end up grouping up like that, and we've mentioned this is a smaller map, so it's kind of hard not to on certain occasions, you kind of get that going. But it is really interesting. This is the first time I think I've seen someone running it. Knife is going for a snowball as well. He's got this watchful at level 5, which is something we've seen on Shaolin in the past. We see it on a lot of champions, but it's very much a, I am going to continue getting kills. I'm going to snowball as best I can.
Don't stay there.
So a lot of confidence there when you're hitting double headshots like that. Make that a third. I think that you're merited to flex just a small bit. And again, by himself with the Torvald, he's able to essentially hold down this entire corridor. Wow, able to find his way out as well. But Salmon Time, really good awareness of the map to come right back on through, help him out with 1.5 kills, make that potentially 2.5 if he can find the last shot here on the Creams. Will Grace right on forward. Zergetto able to help out, and he will be void gripped and takes a couple of shots through the staircase. And most of them do connect, and oh my goodness, Salmon Time. I tried to avoid hitting on it earlier, but you gotta find yourself, oh, not pardon me, Sailor is just in a really bad spot again. His team's falling all apart around him. He needs to back up, stay alive.
It almost feels as though Victor has been, I wanted to say a non-factor. Like, I know, like, Knife's name keeps coming up because it's like, if Androxus is getting kills, then everything is going great for Wolfpack. The minute that stops, there's no follow-up. There's no backup damage. And even though this barrage comes down, there's the Immortal keeping him alive, keeping him pressured out, standing right in the through time and space, but does not get taken out. Sailor looking to get aggressive and try and find at least a little bit to make his name known.
Knife able to help out with the Ancient Rage by throwing a Cursed Arm right into the face of it. Now looking for Salmon Time. Not able to find enough there with the Enlightenment.
Androxus's right horn is feeling a little bit warmer than the rest of his body right now.
Are you making fun?
Gore, I can't take you anywhere. Point still in control of the team in blue. That's Wolfpack now mimicking the 78% that Authority had, but still finding kills. So looking to potentially put this one in their favor. And it looks to be so as they have the numbers. Shell spin just a touch will fade away very quickly as he falls, and a double kill for Knife, just continuing to punish. Finding targets all over the place. Target prioritization be darned. He's just finding the kills, blows right on by Fernando, who's left his head spinning as Wanda falls down, and my goodness, just Knife. So mobile, and even though he does fall away, look how much space he just created for his team.
And this is actually something that I think is really interesting, because having that 50% reduction whenever you get an elimination is giving the dashes back for Androxus, I think, faster than Abyssal Touch would even be doing in this case. So you're getting in this area where if you're looking to snowball, if you can dive deep and get a kill, you can still make it out of that fight. Or, as we just saw Knife do, continue chasing down everyone who's low. Once you get them in that area, it's just stagger on stagger on stagger to the point where Authority didn't have legs to stand on. They finally push him back a little bit, but like you said, with all the space he creates, this payload makes it almost 50% of the way after getting grabbed on the
Oh, boy howdy, Zergetto with a massive pull, but again, not able to capitalize as Knife just says, okay, I'll take a shield dance right on in once more. And again, look at this. Can he find one more left hook? He's not even going to bother with it. He's just going to back up, make sure he stays alive. Salmon Time was in the back line, but Sailor, he was late to this early team fight, but he was doing enough to keep that backline pressure away from his support, so now an opportunity here to go 3-1. They do have a lot of ultimates to use if they do want to make that a 2-point gap. If they can find this kill on a Makoa, it might not matter. Is that a Dread Serpent that just came out? Sure was. Looked to be right in front of the base, though. It didn't look to be going really very far whatsoever.
The peel to try and get rid of Knife right now. He is the focus. He is pulling all of the attention from Authority onto him, and unfortunately, that means this payload is now sitting in this position where all you need is to kill that Makoa. It's going to walk forward. Now you have 2 people dropping down to try and fill that spot, but you get rid of Mux, you get rid of Knife, and that opens up the door for you to try and defend.
Big moment there for Zed to dodge right away from the left punch. And able to find more kills as well. A big kill, as you mentioned, that time through onto the Torvald to open things up, and then trading focus over to the Barrack. Good play there from Zed. We haven't really said his name much this game. but he did enough there to keep his team in that 1-point differential at the moment. Still plenty of time for one more committal. And Zed, again, because you got to be a little bit careful there, buddy. You need to get your frontliners up there. There's no Makoa, no Fernando in front of you. If you get caught out, that's really bad because you are the main course of damage, at least in these instances. Lyliyen can do a lot, but that impulse does more.
They leave Mox and
Mox
Knife
taken
alone.
down again on the
They just
backhand of a
let
nice blast
Crimson
shot.
and the
Unfortunately,
others
once that
settle
bubble's
the
gone, you can
middle.
see Knife is a little bit more scared to try and fight the way that he has been. They're still going to be able to get
What are
overtime,
you
but Barrett
doing,
does
Zed?
not have the health bar to withstand this much damage for this
Zed.
long. But being able to find a kill, if Sailor could step up, that might be the difference. There's going to be the bowling ball shield. Nah, that's not going to live through.
I would have been lost for words if he stayed alive throughout that. Muck's doing a very good job of keeping that triggered on him. And ooh, there's 2 times now that I've seen Makoa hook people when he really shouldn't be. That was one of them that could have put it into overtime. Yeah, and the other was when he pulled the Androxus into him to get punched to death. A really good moment here from Creams. Again, the Dome Shield able to take away the high ground and then immediately falling down to chase the kill onto Zed. And again, you can see what happened. The Genos actually had to back completely up just to make sure he kept himself alive. But again, the Dome Shield helped create that barrier. Sometimes it's necessary to use it off the point to create those moments.
16, 8, and 7 right now. Knife, I think I've said his name more in the last like 2 minutes than I think throughout the entirety of the set, although there's only been one game before this, but he is the all-in for Wolfpack. I like the loadout. He's gone for Nimble, which is a little curious. I actually like what we saw a little bit yesterday on Stone Keep, was people going more for this Master Riding and kind of doing what Creams is doing. Get into the backline as fast as you can, and if you're someone like Androxus, someone like Barrett, that's extra damage they get, and most of the time people aren't expecting you to be there that quickly.
Portal being used very early though in this team fight. Dread Serpent used immediately after, so no follow-up, but ooh, the Barrack does walk into it right near the end of its channel. Ancient Rage also being used, and both frontliners are kind of just biding their time at the moment. A little bit of a stalemate. Nothing really was gained nor lost off of that. Now we're back to the same old story. Mux and Knife holding down this tapestry side in the church. They're able to find Zergetto and then immediately right back out once again. You can see Mux is just waiting and hoping he can find a way to get his shield off, but oh, able to dodge aside, and Knife, a little right-left. The triple deke out of the Mighty Duck days, able to come back and find Salmon Time. Right after that Enlightenment, and now looking for more. Not able to find anything. Those are just not able to find that hook. That would have been a big one. So Knife does stay alive, 66% for Wolfpack, and counting up. As again, look at the pressure being put on. Fernando can't even touch. Creams takes him down. Right into the back line goes Knife, trying to find more kills. Reversal goes up. Damage orb comes out, not able to find anything, but the Dome Shield right at the nick of time. 99% here, Will. I don't know if this is going to be an opportunity for Authority to contest.
They get rid of Zergetto, they get rid of Zed, now looking to potentially get rid of Wanda. That's definitely going to be them holding onto this overtime ticking down. I don't see Psy Conqueror dashing in, so now 3-2. And we were looking at the last round, if you really want that 2-point difference for a 3-1, maybe you commit some ults. But when you are looking at a win, I expect Wolfpack to charge up whatever they can and use that to try and close out this game, at least if they feel sure of themselves. It is in this awkward position of, if you dump everything, Authority might just sweep it away from you.
Very well could, but at the moment, no chance of losing this game for Wolfpack. Only a chance to capitalize a win after what was a very interesting start again. Whoa! Later, dude! Have a nice swim. The Dread Serpent coming out right as Androxus was trying to dash right back in. Not sure if that was the fullest value out of the ultimate, but it was a funny value out of it.
And you know Knife is upset about it too. Like, that's the big thing. Accursed Arm was actually used. I think that might have pulled him out of that. Or did he get some kills with that right beforehand?
I think he must have gotten it before.
That had to be like, maybe just barely finished. Either way, you know he's upset because he just gets pushed right off the edge.
And he's able to come back with a Fury as well, finding one. Oh, and able to hit the reversal for a second. That's going to be the go card to move on through, but he does just narrowly slip off the high ground before he can take down Cassie. So again, all 5 members for Authority have to wait and spawn, at least marginally near it. Whoa, big target prioritization. Wanda getting eliminated, just melted off the face of the planet. And now the barrage coming down from the Victor to help take down Fernando. Meanwhile, Knife in the back line will be able to create the space, and Wolfpack, what I was trying to get at before we saw Knife's a little bit more of hysterics as he gets pushed off the map was they started off terribly with that disqualification for not showing
up. That's exactly what I was just thinking.
And they're able to find the 2 maps they need. That's, for all intents and purposes, a 2-0 for them.
You pretty much come into a set and it's just, by the way, you're down a map.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I think that's all for today.